السلام عليكم، مرحبا بكم في فيديو جديد في قناتي الإنجليزية والكمال. في هذا الفيديو إن شاء الله غنصحوا التمارين ديال الريدين القراءة اللي في الصفحة 42 و 43. بالنسبة اللي بغى يراجع الفوكابولري ديال الوحدة وحتى التصحيح ديال التمارين غتلقاوهم في البلاي ليست. في الصفحة 42 مكتوب عنوان read and discover، قرأ واكتشف. السؤال 3 read the subtitles، قرأ العناوين الفرعية. look at the pictures، شوف في الصور. and predict what the text is about، ودير توقع على موضوع النص. السؤال 4 skim through the text to check your prediction، تصفح النص باش تحقق من التوقعات ديالك. نقراو النص ومن بعد نجاوبوا على الأسئلة. Literacy lights the way. Last month, Zahra, a 40-year-old woman, stood up in front of a microphone to read a speech that she had written herself. 6 years ago, she had to pay someone to read letters for her. The newly literate woman began her speech. My name is Fatima Zahra, but people call me Zahra. I am from a small isolated village in the mountains. Then, with a huge smile on her face and her hands widely animating her speech, she told the audience about how literacy changed her life. A difficult childhood. My parents were poor, Zahra says, and it was hard for us to go to school. But poverty wasn't the only factor keeping Zahra and her sisters from school. Zahra was briefly enrolled in school but never learned to read or write. 2 events cut her off from formal education. First, both her sisters dropped out to get married. This angered my father, she said. He didn't want to pay for our schooling if we were just going to get married. Then, her mother became ill, and Zahra had to care for her. In our community, girls work as maids and boys work in the fields, she explained. Parents just don't send their kids to school. In the big town, with her few skills, Zahra had trouble finding employment and eventually left for the big city to work in a textile factory. Money was not her only problem. She also lacked confidence. I was shy and I was ashamed, she told the audience. Zahra's life changed when her husband encouraged her to join a literacy circle run by an organization that works in partnership with the Ministry of Education. The group of 24 people learned to read together, gain livelihood skills, and learn about health and nutrition. The literacy circle works under the assumption that literacy is necessary for greater participation in economic, social, and political life. Zahra credited the literacy circle with helping her gain the communication and managerial skills that enabled her to participate actively in her community. She smiles when describing one of her proudest accomplishments, a letter that her circle wrote to a health association asking for medical help for local children. As a result, 55 children who were gravely ill received medical treatment. Before, we never had the possibility to do something like this ourselves, she added. An example to follow. Zahra's success has encouraged other members of her family to start learning too. Her husband is now a part of her literacy circle, as are her 2 teenage sisters. Even her father has been convinced of the importance of learning, and the effects carry on to the neighborhood. She has become a symbol and an example of literacy success among organizations and ministry officials. They usually ask her to give speeches on her experience to encourage others to learn, study, and participate in community life. من بعد ما قرينا النص نجاوب على السؤال الثالث والرابع. After reading the subtitles بعد قراءة العناوين الفرعية looking at the pictures والنظر للصور and skimming the text وتصفح النص it is clear that the text is about Zahra's story or journey from illiteracy to literacy. كيتضح أن النص كيدور على القصة أو الرحلة ديال زهرة من الأمية إلى معرفة القراءة والكتابة. Her challenges تحديات ديالها. The support she received from her husband الدعم اللي تلقاته من الزوج ديالها and a literacy circle ودائرة محو الأمية and the positive impact she has had on her family and community والأثر الإيجابي ديالها على عائلتها والمجتمع. نمرر السؤال الخامس. Read the text again and find out the main sentence in each section. قرأ النص مرة أخرى واكتشف الجمل الرئيسية في كل قسم أو في كل فقرة. بالنسبة للفقرة الأولى فالجملة الرئيسية هي Last month Zahra, a 40-year-old woman, stood up in front of a microphone to read a speech that she had written herself. بالنسبة للفقرة جوج My parents were poor, Zahra says, and it was hard for us to go to school. الفقرة 3 Zahra's life changed when her husband encouraged her to join a literacy circle run by an organization that works in partnership with the Ministry of Education. نمروا دابا لآخر فقرة. الجملة الرئيسية هي Zahra's success has encouraged other members of her family to start learning too. نمروا السؤال السادس. Find out if these sentences are true or false. Justify your answers. اكتشف إذا كانوا هاد الجمل صحاح ولا خاطئين وعلل الأجوبة ديالك. نقراو A. Zahra was enthusiastic while speaking to the audience. زهرة كانت متحمسة أثناء الحديث ديالها مع الجمهور. بالنسبة لهاد الجملة فراها true صحيحة. التعليل كان في paragraph 1. With a huge smile on her face and her hands widely animating her speech, she told the audience about how literacy changed her life. بابتسامة كبيرة على الوجه ديالها واليدين ديالها كيحركوا أو كينشطوا الكلام أو الخطاب ديالها قالت للجمهور كيفاش غير محو الأمية الحياة ديالها. B. Zahra dropped out of school because her father was poor. زهرة انقطعت على المدرسة بسبب أن الأب ديالها كان فقير. هاد الجملة راها false خاطئة والتعليل ديالها كاين في paragraph 2. Zahra dropped out of school due to her sister's marriages and her mother's illness. زهرة انقطعت من المدرسة بسبب الزواج ديال خواتاتها والمرض ديال الوالد ديالها. C. Thanks to her husband's help, Zahra joined the literacy group. بفضل المساعدة ديال الزوج ديالها انضمت زهرة المجموعة ديال محو الأمية. الجواب true والتعليل ديالو كان في paragraph 3. Zahra's life changed when her husband encouraged her to join a literacy circle. تغيرت الحياة ديال زهرة منين شجعها الزوج ديالها على الالتحاق بدورة محو الأمية. نمر السؤال السابع. Answer the following questions. جاوب على الأسئلة التالية. A. Why did Zahra have to pay someone to read her letters? علاش كانت زهرة مضطرة أنها تخلص واحد الشخص باش يقرأ الرسائل ديالها؟ Zahra had to pay someone to read her letters because she was illiterate and couldn't read or write. اضطرت زهرة أنها تخلص واحد الشخص باش يقرأ الرسائل ديالها لحقاش كانت أمية وما كانتش كتقدر تقرأ أو تكتب. B. Who helped Zahra to be confident and have a strong personality? شكون ساعد زهرة باش تولي واثقة من راسها وتكون عندها شخصية قوية؟ الجواب هو Zahra's husband. C. How did Zahra and her circle help 55 children receive medical care? كيفاش ساعدت زهرة والدائرة ديالها 55 طفل في الحصول على الرعاية الطبية؟ Zahra and her literacy circle helped 55 children receive medical care by writing a letter to a health association asking for medical help for local children. ساعدت زهرة والدائرة ديالها ديال محو الأمية 55 طفل في الحصول على الرعاية الطبية من خلال كتابة رسالة إلى جمعية صحية كتطلب فيها المساعدة الطبية للأطفال المحليين. D. Is the writer of this text enthusiastic, neutral, or critical towards Zahra's story? Justify. واش الكاتب ديال هذا النص متحمس أو لا محايد أو لا منتقد للقصة ديال زهرة؟ على الجواب ديالك. The writer of this text appears to be enthusiastic towards Zahra's story. كيبان أن الكاتب ديال هذا النص متحمس للقصة ديال زهرة. بالنسبة للتعليل The text highlights Zahra's journey to literacy and her positive impact on her community. النص كيسلط الضوء على رحلة زهرة في محو الأمية والتأثير ديال الإيجابي على المجتمع ديالها. And there is no indication of criticism or a negative tone. وما كاين حتى شي حاجة كتشير للانتقاد أو لا شي نبرة سلبية في النص.